Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane. A Monday novice fight for you, so feel free to sit down and listen and learn a thing or two about how to play this wondrous game by watching others' mistakes and having them pointed out in perhaps a slightly humorous fashion, perhaps slightly less so. We shall be watching the Southern half, Slimey, fighting for the Germans, fighting for the Speerverbande Steiner versus Tuong, who we'll just call Tuong because that's going to be reasonably easier to pronounce, fighting for the Soviet Union and the 120th Rifle Division. Combat moving that way, conscripts that way. Starting out with an MG42 here, definitely not what I recommend for the novices. They are much trickier to handle, and again they're very much dependent on having something to support, something to stay behind. And certainly with a novice, you don't usually have that kind of, how shall I say, skill and sense of feeling of what's going on to actually be able to utilize an MG42 aggressively. You're more likely to just get them into a position where they get cut down. We're seeing here that actually Tuong is moving towards this fuel point. Like might also be moving towards this. Either way, it looks like he might be rushing for both fuel points. Also moving here, the MG42s for some reason not even being sent in a pattern or way that could actually help the Pioneers, for example, but actually sent on here to capping. I mean, not really a very efficient use of the MG42, basically using it to grab territory like that. Grenadiers, though, do follow up here for Slimey. Doctrines are Festung Armor, Spearhead, and the ever dreaded Jägerarmor, because most novices really don't know how to use it at all, which again is rather depressing. For Theo, we are looking at mechanized support, anti-infantry tactics, and urban defense. So there's a bit more variety here. Mr. Tuong being a bit more bold in his doctrinal usage, but not actually making any move here for the fuel point. But back to Slimey with a mortar, so far one of each. Will the Grenadiers move up here to support, I wonder?
Germany now holds the victory point.
And of course the MG42 still standing about. If one infantry man wants to engage, of course there'll be problems. Also noting it, he hasn't gone for this point, nor has he connected this point either. So Mr. Tuong not really handling things very efficiently in terms of grabbing territory. Bit sad there. It's disappointing. Pioneers though, good job there for Slimey, actually getting to some buildings there, giving the advantage on the combat engineers. Going for the fuel point there with the Grenadiers. Mortar moving up.
What are your orders?
No additional units. MG42 continues up here, finally sending up, but easily at this point. I mean, it could have been engaged by conscripts for all we know, in which case it would have been in trouble. Again, you don't move in an MG42 in like that unless you're extremely confident, extremely good. And when you're a novice, you really shouldn't be confident about that. Mortar setting up here, bit bold, and already taking on here Slimey. So one Grenadier, one MG42, rather awkward. Tier 1, not really the sort of thing you can actually expect to hold any territory with, to be honest. Or for that matter, gain much territory. So it's a rather poor build, I would say, since it's rather reliant on support units. And specifically support units like the mortar, which are very dependent on having something fighting for them. At the same time, now he's getting another Grenadier squad. Looks like he can't. No, he hasn't even cancelled that, so he's being a bit, mucking about here. Mortar's being sent up here. He's losing his cut-off point without anything to cover it, because, he's MG42, for example, is over here. The Grenadiers are even farther off, so in that sense, there's also a pretty rubbish disposition. Besides, poor, composition initially. There's also just a poor disposition with this MG42 over here, and basically he's spreading out too thin already. I mean, already here, Slimey is committing a litany of sins, if one could put it like that. So many things he really shouldn't be doing, which is only making it easier for Tuong. But on the other hand, Tuong is not really playing very focused either, running a bit over here, running a bit over there, not really engaging, not really taking territory either, in several cases just standing about. No real, order to his capturing. I mean, several points just left utterly disconnected, although it looks like he might have a mortar up here against the MG42. There you go, territory cut off here for Slimey. Troops getting mortared, needs to be careful he doesn't get too close, otherwise he's going to get hit here by the MG42. That's the base entrance. And going for the territory right next to Tuong's base. Interesting. Nice rifle grenade there. And a special rifle command up for Tuong. And there go the MD-42's forced retreat. No deep surprises there, I'm afraid. Again, the current playstyle there for Slimey is not really very efficient at all. Need to quickly move up here. Come on, mach schnell.
Grenadiers ready.
Losing territory, we are seeing Tuong taking back resources. They're also hanging about here with some troops. 4 squads of conscripts, by the way. Some of them in less than grand conditions. Engaging up here, conscripts need to pull into heavy cover. And Grenadiers need to get into some light cover as well. A bit too slow then getting into heavy cover. Looks like the Grenadiers are going to run to cover as well. Already there, Heinz goes down. Good job here would be to act in Molotov where they're going to be. That is the Grenadiers, and that way deny them full cover and also force them to move more constantly. Because that is one of the major advantages of the LMG. Again, it can't fire while moving, so if you can keep the Grenadiers moving, they really can't use the LMG instead here. Tuong basically allows them to run up to his men and fire it at point blank. That's not really good. That's not really good. Had he been in cover earlier, had he thrown the Molotov at the right place, those Grenadiers would have lost. Instead, Tuong pretty much let them do whatever the bloody hell they wanted. And now following up with the scout car for the Sperrverbande, the blocking group. A sort of more defensive camp group meant for holding specific points or areas, usually formed from whatever is available nearby.
Scout car awaiting orders.
Taking points there. I mean, Tuong at the very least is an aggressive harasser, but he's also a rather dispersed one.
Enemy forces
At the moment, nothing that indicates a special command is being used.
222.
Scout car looks to be heading up to deal with the conscripts. Needs to be careful, doesn't get too close. There might be anti-tank grenades, but there we go. The Yuri goes down to the machine gun bullets. MD-42 in the church. Looks like Slimey is finally getting a bit cohesive, a bit coherent. About damn time. Conscripts up here need to retreat. A good idea would actually be for Slimey to move it up here to try and cut them off from the retreat path. Where he is right now, they might actually be able to retreat without being cut down fully. Just a small suggestion there. Usually you benefit from having the scout car on the retreat path, but no. In fact, looks like Tuong didn't retreat it, losing a conscript squad rather senselessly right there to Slimey. And it's like to punch a Spielwagen. Rather a bit of a shame there. Conscript quickly rushing up. And Molotov. And point blank getting shot at. Mortifying way actually killing their own men. Good job there, Heinz. No doctrine for him as of yet. Scout car not doing much. Could easily been rushed in here to do something in the centre to provide some fire support with this light machine gun. Come on, Slimey, and your floating resources. You just keep at it, eh? If we do see a bunker up still, there's no point having that much manpower about. A pack could be an idea. Panzer Grenadiers could be an idea right now, or some caches. Just something. You don't gain anything from floating that much manpower again. If you're unsure what to do with it, just use it. Just build something. Then you'll learn how to use it well afterwards. Combat engines on the move. Looks like we're seeing snipers and Tuong here moving a bit ahead pretty aggressively in a less than sensible fashion, which could easily result in them getting cut down, to be honest. Communists running straight into the scout car and the Grenadiers. Lots of fire there. Snipers repositioning into a small house there. Not necessarily a bad idea. They should be cautious against rifle grenades. Guards infantry has arrived, so that means Tuong here has gone for a doctrine. Could be the mechanized support, I believe.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Guards rifle infantry should help up against the scout car, which is so far now being rather passive. And the ghost sniper reveals himself. Well, she reveals himself, it would seem, would be the more appropriate description. There we go, Grenadiers down to half men, need to get out of there, Slimey. Wuxug. Munitions cache going up, interesting. Scout going to engage here, going to catch the snipers if possible. Upgrading with the autocannon. Mortar round gets off a nice hit there on the conscripts. Need to be careful now. Looks like they're going to try and rush in with an anti-tank grenade.
We are losing a sector.
Grenadiers, ready.
Grenadiers are going to get caught by the guards infantry who don't look to be upgraded, so they might have an advantage, but still, cover, shoot, perhaps try upgrade. But no, looks like Slimey's not paying attention. Slimey is not paying attention. After lever. And we go forced to retreat. And conscripts making a run there at the mortar, actually getting off a nice round there. Mortar, they're burning away the crew. Not really well handled by Slime and the conscripts on one. Over at Tuong, who has indeed gone for mechanized support. And Scout car doing what they can there with its auto cannon. Conscripts again going to make a rush with an anti-tank grenade. Will they succeed this time around? At the same time, Guards infantry in the north. Could it be that Slime or Tuong here is trying to sort of surround the Scout car, cut it off. Panzer grenades out as well. Conscripts getting gutted point blank. Get them out of there. Get them out of there, Tuong. And no, another conscript squad lost. Tuong clearly having problems with the unit preservation department of things. Not retreating in time, it would seem, when it really should be obvious, you know, when that they'll have that in a few minutes, should be time to get out there. Grenade killing one poor machine gunner. And a bunch grenade in return. A geballte Ladung. Almost wiping out the shock troopers in return as well, guards infantry at the same time. Splendid. Unless you're the Russians, of course, in which case you're probably going a bit shit. But the geballte Ladung being a bit of an old World War I tactic, also used in World War II, where it was also in fact used as initially as an anti-tank weapon, since the lighter armoured tanks in the beginning of the war could still be dealt with it through that. Little fun fact. Another fun fact is that the overall the stormtrooper tactics and formations of World War I actually largely influenced German infantry divisions. How they were formed and how they were actually organised. So also a little fun fact there. Both snipers inside the same church. I think that's a recipe for disaster. Possibly also hubris. One well-placed artillery round or anything could quickly collapse this. On the snipers, I mean, you'd be getting a lot out of it. So not necessarily a very bright idea from Tuong. Scout car needs some repairs, obviously. Pioneers are nowhere near being able to... Oh, there we go. Pack also could be moved up. MD-42 as well. Come on. Make a move, man.
Enemy forces are neutralizing
Just to crew that mortar and begin firing. It looks like the snipers are vacating the church.
Conscripts here.
Mechanized armor company. No surprises there. Conscripts going to get engaged. Grenadiers need to stop up. Fire the light machine gun. Again, it's a light machine gun. It does not fire while you are moving. And there we go, snipers up on the Panzer Grenadiers. They need to retreat. Slimey, mach schnell. Also get that scout car up there to kill them. Don't hang around here, mate. Oh dear. No sense of unit preservation meaning you're actually thinking about, you know, how to actually keep this unit bloody well alive and not get it killed in a rather silly manner. Again, it means judging the situation, realising, you know, I can't win here, I'm just going to lose men, thus I opt to retreat. And really that should have been the first indication when he got hit by 2 snipers. Get the hell out of there, Heinz. Not hang around and hope they might give you some Heinz ketchup. Conscripts making a rush here for the scout car. Poor handling there, but still the scout car is alive. We've still got the snipers here hanging about, taking territory. Actually, they're rather boldly out, and again, if that scout car did not have a damaged engine, it could easily rush in and probably clear them out. So in that sense, Tuong is being overly aggressive with the snipers. Not really solid in some particular since there's so little infantry to actually cover them. So they're going to be very exposed, and if he loses them, that's, well, largely half his fault. Not really good. Not really encouraging.
Infantry fire incoming!
Looks like the guards infantry has been equipped with some light machine guns, opening up in the Pioneers. The Pioneers still not standing a chance. Already low on health. Not retreating time when even trying to vault over here in the cover, get away. Remember, vaulting over cover before retreating is a valid way of now trying to escape from a situation. But again, you know, a lot of people tend to forget this little terrain feature. Again, with vaulting, it can be quite handy in allowing you to save a soldier from a nasty situation. And another conscript squad got wiped out. Oh goodness, Tuong. Looks like the snipers are moving ahead here. Whoops, that was not supposed to happen.
Troops are standing by.
That was not supposed to happen at all. Anyways, actually using vaulting over there, then again, why not over here? Why taking a longer path just to vault over something? But comrades, vaulting over wood! That's just rude. Oh, hang on, that was not less Russian, that was more of a Scottish accent. My apologies. Anyways, the sniper's also having rather placed himself within reasonable range. In fact, I'll just check. Well, at least one here can actually be seen though again. I mean, less spotting range than in company use, but still, if they get close enough, you can actually bloody well see them. So in this case, let's just pop back here. Mr. Slimey should know what's going on and should be able to deal with them. Right here, though, Slimey's making a bit of a mistake. And you might ask, what kind of mistake, Dane? What kind of mistake is he making? And there we go. The way he approached it is pretty much bad. He should not have engaged him from the direct route. He should have moved around here and gone for the route of retreat again, you know, where they might, you know, head back. Because as soon as snipers, of course, heard something coming with a motor on, they're probably not going to be expecting the ice cream van. They're going to be expecting something German with guns and an intent to kill. So obviously you'll want to use the scout car in a manner that actually takes advantage of that, you know, sensing, oh, let's get the hell out of here, comrades. Oh no, fascist scout car in a retreat path. We are doomed. Instead, you know, it end up being, oh, thank goodness, scout car approaching from the direct opposite direction we are going to be retreating in. Hooray! So again, you know, keep those things in mind, you know, and also, you know, try to use the veteran's one ability, you know, to get an idea where things are. In that case, you know, so he doesn't get, you know, caught by anything. But really here, Slimey, you know, rather blue and a chance to really deliver a serious kick to the gonads on Tuong. Let's see if he actually tries to hunt them down. At the very least, no, he doesn't even do that. So right here, Slimey rather blundered seriously. One, he's, well, wasted a chance of actually getting off a nice trap there on the snipers. Two, he didn't even pursue. For shame, Slimey. For shame. You're disgracing the good name of Slimeys everywhere. If that ever was good. H-85 up there. Getting some more conscripts to replace some of the serious infantry losses. Safed, he's got 2 squads of guards infantry now. He's of course got the combatants with a flamethrower, which throws flame. At least he's making use of the mortar, reasonably so. Could also do without getting down the Grenadier squad. Grenade going off here, and a nice cluster up Grenadiers, though not well laid. Anyways, the Grenadiers with the light machine guns were the one wounded, but again now they are standing still in front of a bleeding mortar. And looks like the scout car actually got the combat engineers. Well done there, Friedrich. Well done.
You need light anti-tank support?
Another munitions cache. That's interesting. He's getting an awful lot of munitions caches, but I'm not seeing an awful lot of munitions usage besides the puncher's Rex, I suppose.
Fucking hell, they are killing us!
A guards infantry behind enemy lines. Not an awful lot of armor he's seen though, most infantry, so why upgrade his panzer gunners with puncher's Rex is a bit beyond me.
You want the sniper?
Scout car standing around again, right next to the opponent's point, thus signaling to his opponent, hey, Ivan, I have a scout car right next to your point. You Russian swine. So not really well handled there. Now of course the question is, will he respond to this or will Slimey allow his munitions cans to get wrecked here by the guards infantry? In particular one he just built, which would be a bit sad and a considerable waste of manpower. MD42 again, very much on its own. You don't want to leave an MD42 like that. Certainly not in a building either. And you might, again, I'll just briefly pause and ask, why is that? Because, again, it depends on the window they're bloody well looking out at. Otherwise, they need to change, and that's very much the exact amount of time your opponent needs to get close and throw in a Molotov. So keep something else around, and if you absolutely must insist on placing down an MG42 in the middle of a village with absolutely nothing around it, lay down some goddamn barbed wire so your opponent can't run straight at it. Barbed wire serves that purpose very well because people don't like running into barbed wire. If you don't believe me, try it yourself. that is running into barbed wire, not forcing others to run into barbed wire. Scout car here in some rather serious trouble. Getting kind of down there with the tank toe, but again, at the same time, it's not really well handling over here that Tuong's doing it. In theory, he could himself get ambushed right here, since, you know, tank destroyer is not necessarily the most mobile vehicles. No, here, armor has arrived for Slimey. Panzerkampfwagen 4.
What do you have for us?
Slimey needs to get about his habit of, you know, running about with the LMG right in front of the enemy. Oh! Good lord. And a mortar right there, the cluster back on this. They need to vault over and get out of there before they burn up. I said get out of there. And that is something to remember sometimes when you vault over. I mean, you can get stuck in the bushes. It's a bit awkward at times in this case. Again, be bloody well careful. In this case, obviously might not be paying attention. Looks like one poor bastard barely alive, with the rest of his burned comrades stuck to him. Scout car though needs to get the hell out of there. Panzer 4 moving up. Main gun destroyed. Grenadiers moving up. The scout car still not pulling back. Grenadiers moving up perhaps with the Panzerfaust. And oh my goodness, he didn't even get the snipers with his Panzer Grenadiers. Again, he didn't really manage to do anything with them. Again, a waste. Didn't even hand over Panzer to his opponent. No Panzerfaust here. Panzer 4, for example, didn't even engage while he was trying to pull away in an awkward manner. Slimey keeps just fumbling it. Put it mildly. And of course, next mission cache is about to go down as well. Scout car still not being repaired. Grenadiers finally got themselves out of the mess though. But Slimey managed to put them in. It's time for the mid-game analysis. Current situation, obviously, not exactly very good. I mean, currently, Tuong is, you know, recovering from after the rather severe infantry losses he suffered. He's actually getting some penal infantry now. That's rather interesting. But, you know, he's still spread out. He's not actually holding much ground. He keeps, you know, flopping a bit around, you know, a bit too spread out. And, of course, he keeps sending his snipers up in some rather ridiculously baiting manner. Yet, for some reason, fate does not intervene and get them quickly killed, which tends to be the exact thing that happens when you move your snipers around like that. But again, that's probably because the opponent is not handling things very well. But what, of course, could Tuong consider doing? Again, push forwards, secure this part of the map, and otherwise push up here. Support the H5 with some bleeding infantry, don't running around like it's a tank, which Tuong currently is rather seemingly fond of doing, which is a bad thing. And I think he should perhaps try and just saving up for the H152, because that might pretty much just seal the deal. Moving over here to Slimey with less infantry, suffering more losses, with a scout car that's barely there. He initially definitely needs to get that scout car repaired, get it back into the fight, try and hunt down those snipers, get them killed. And he's gone Jaeger armor. At this stage, he's pretty much become a Rorschach test for novices. I show them the the Jaeger armor doctor, and then they pretty much just respond, I see an elephant, doctor, and then, oh yes, you're a novice. Move along. I mean, really, they pretty much always go for it, and they pretty much always fail at actually using it, because they don't even use any of the other abilities, because they're so utterly obsessed with the elephant, which they can never get and never use. It's really chatty in some ways, and the only thing that really makes me go 9, 9, 9 time after time as I see it. It's really depressing. I mean, in particular, considering the force he's running, it makes no sense. If he had assault guns, I could at least understand it for the spotting scope. But the thing he's running, you know, he's got tanks, he's got scout cars, festering armor, spearhead with panzer tactician would be a much better choice. So in that sense, he's not making a frightful lot of sense either in that regard. Let's return to the fight here. Of course, going to lose another munitions cache, and really again, kill the snipers, get some infantry, perhaps get some stoops, and stop mucking about. I'll secure the front on the shorter vantage point initially as well. Oh well. MD42 moving in, not really a sensible man. Also knowing here the guardsman has actually gained veterancy from clearing out all those munition caches. And again, the MD42 can't see that far, Slimey.
We are ready for action.
He's tagged up further, getting some pioneers here. Grenadiers being engaged by the penal troops. Grenadiers actually moving past, and actually retreating in time this time around. Splendid, Slimy, splendid.
Our territory.
Pioneers here being engaged. They're definitely not going to stand against that 22 Guards infantry.
We have lost a squad.
More Pioneers arriving. Looks like Slimey's losing an awful lot of Pioneers.
Territory. The enemy has broken our supply lines.
Infantry advances, spotting scopes up for the Panzer IV. It doesn't really benefit from it that much, to be honest. But I suppose you can see farther now, which should allow it to give it some chance to escape. S-35 moves up here, which it slowly is. Infantry moves up, pack ready. Pull back the Panzer IV, Slimy. Pull it back. Satchel charge from the pack. And there we go. Pack crew dead. The pack somehow still standing. But that Panzer IV needs to get out of there, Slimy. Again, you can see the S-35 gets the hell out of there. Friedrich.
Yes? You need something built?
MD-42 somehow managed to stop the Guard infantry down south, and miracle, and getting another S-35 it would seem. Also now there's a chance of a Stuka bombing strike, so if he actually uses it correctly, he could do some serious damage. Ooh, nice rough grenadier, and he might even get the oh yes indeed, a small moment of victory there for Germany. Getting the penal troops and the communists too close proximity there, with troops on low health and low numbers, and of course a flamethrower ready to burst into flames. Panzer grenadiers on the way, now going for a heavy Panzer Corps. Interesting. I think he should then opt for a Panther and try to deal with the S-35s that way. Even he might actually have a chance of dealing with them. Even he. Mr. Slimy.
Einsatzbereit.
But again, rather spread out formation. Guards infantry engaging the scout car. Scout car, on the other hand, just needs to get out of there before the Guards infantry turn into scrap. And again, I mean, Slimy just keeps outspending those infantry and you can't really get much out of them at all. There we go, losing men. Snipers arriving. And this time actually retreating in time. Wonderful. Another Panzer squad equipped with Panzer Rex. Ach du Liebe.
We are losing a sector.
MG element ready.
They're firing on us! Bereit!
And there we go. Panzer gunners ending up becoming target practice for the snipers again.
Yeah. Ready for action.
Yeah.
MD-42 just rushing for the first house. Possibly looking for the bathroom. For all I know. Not even bothering taking the points up. Panzer IV advancing again. Pioneers on the way, and now he's getting a Panzerwerfer. I don't really think he needs a Panzerwerfer again. His problem would seem to be the S-35s. And again, I think the Panther might actually give him a chance of actually doing something sensible. Panzer IV needs to get away, and there we go. At least he's retreating in time. This time around.
Ready.
Pioneers following up. All a bit quiet. Perhaps too quiet. Other S-35 moving up here. Tuong slowly advancing, very slowly.
We'll double your efforts. We are down to 200 points.
Points are not looking good for Slimy. And there we go, the Panzerwerfer has arrived.
Ready for orders.
There we go, Guards infantry making a move, coming under direct fire from the MD-42 and the scout car. Forcing both, well, not both to retreat, but the Guards infantry retreat.
Half track ready.
Now it looks like Slimey's just going to fire his Panzerwerfer blindly into the map. Again, it's not really the best approach when it comes to artillery. Usually you want, to fire where you actually know where the enemy is. The whole blind firing strategy tends to be pretty much the most rubbish tactic you can actually employ your artillery in. since you're just as likely to just end up wasting them. And of course, there we go. Grenadiers immediately taking severe losses. Need to retreat again. Come on. Trying to catch them with the rifle grenade, but obviously not working.
How can we help?
Come on, Slimey. You know there's 2 snipers about. Don't hang around with 2 grenadiers.
Capture.
Fresh peanut troops out. At least Tuong seems invested in getting out some peanut troops. That's nice. More Panzer Grenadiere.
Panzer here.
Fire mission.
Enemy forces are securing
Another
our
Panzer
territory.
barrage.
Panzer
I wonder where he will be shooting. Something tells me it was not in the direction where he might actually be able to catch the snipers. So again, another wasted barrage. He's yet to actually do even the slightest of damage with his Panzerwerfer. Not really impressive.
Grenadiers ready.
Yeah.
We have our reinforcements.
Infantry contact.
Panzer IV moving ahead with no support. Guard infantry on the other hand also needs to get out of there, down to Freeman, but there we go, H-85 is opening up, and there we go. Marked vehicle up. Panzer IV needs to escape. Go over there, go over there. Peanut troops behind. H-85 moving up. Panzer needs to get some Panzer H, also some Panzer Faust. There we go. Heavy damage on the Panzer IV. Don't stop it up, don't stop it up. And what is this? A bombing strike? Just throwing everything in one go, it would seem. What are the Pioneers doing?
Under fire. More than 100 points remaining. Fence
Panzerwerfer still failing to do absolutely any damage at all.
Small arms fire.
Must be depressing to be that crew.
Chewing us up.
Pioneers getting slaughtered.
We are suffering losses. Panzerwerfer is ready for action. Yes.
Generally not looking very encouraging at the moment. The Germans and the Sperrverbande.
Small arms fire. Infantry contact.
And now he's rushing in his mortar crew as well. Rather seems like Slimey is at an utter loss what to do at the moment.
75 points.
When he actually sends in his mortar like that, that's hardly a good sign. Now we've got getting it molotoved. And rushed off the field. Will he now try for a Panther maybe?
Panzer firing on us.
Now he's just resorting to blobbing up, which doesn't really fix anything. And rather again, I get the impression that Slimey's just getting actually desperate now. He tried to rifle grenade it, for heaven's sakes. A rifle grenade! And the RSU-152 is here as well. And there we go. The 12.7mm DSK heavy machine gun just wrecked it. And now proceeds to wreck everything else.
Sniper
The beast killer has arrived, except there's no beast to kill.
He's dead. Ready. Close to defeat.
Although we do see a Panther on the way, so there might be some, but there we go. Panther Grenadiers wiped out. Tuong, though, is not actually making a very good use of his assault gun, since he's using it like a tank. Which it really isn't. Panzerwerfer continues to gloriously do absolutely no damage whatsoever. Anyhow. Absolutely outstanding. I mean, I've rarely seen a Panzerwerfer do that little at all. That hard. Can the Grenadiers get the snipers? Nope, they just proceed to run at it, actually forcing the snipers to retreat. Amazing. They could just have fired away, but Panzerwerfer needs to keep moving, Slimey, unless you fancy losing it. And actually looks like he's managed to grab all 3 victory points in one hell of a last-ditch attempt. There we go, Panther has arrived. Panzerkampfwagen 5. And there we go, Panzerwerfer all receiving heavy damage from Team the 5th Cav, and there we go. finishing it off, but down to half health. The Panther doing its deal. Bit of damage, and of course, there we see the problem. I mean, it's very easily outmaneuvered by any kind of tank. Use the range of the bloody thing, not move it up close like that. In this case, that could easily have been avoided. Instead, Tuong insisted on using it like a tank, and obviously it fails compared to an actual tank.
We have an isolated sector.
So one more shot and it's good night. Another shot then.
The enemy armor breached. We are suffering.
And there we
vehicle
go.
losses.
That was a bit of a senseless waste of Soviet heavy armor, comrade.
Enemy fire!
But of course, one push ahead, and there's not really much you can do because Slimey's barely got anything to hold up the front. And oh, bombing strike against the MG42 again. Placing it too close to the strategic point. Bad idea. You don't actually want to alert your opponent to something you can actually shoot at.
Make it quick!
So again, the little tip here being pay attention to the stuff around the points. They do have slight line of sight, so you actually place things too close, you can actually throw in abilities at it. Fun fact.
A promotion!
Supply lines have been cut.
And more Pentagonist dying. Those now just keep on killing. Barely any resistance there from Tuong. Just going to speed this up.
The people anticipate our
As
victory.
points tick down.
The enemy has been very
This
eliminated.
game is largely over, and
IL-2 standing by.
there we go. Again, a lovely Monday novice fight over. I hope you learned a few things on scout cars, snipers, points, and the line of sight they actually provide. Again, it's there, and of course, you know, bloody well not using Jaeger armor. But overall, I mean, the problems was basically partly in unit preservation, partly in flowing resource, but mainly for Slimey. He just kept spreading his men out too thin. And of course, he, you know, failed at several chances of actually getting the snipers as well. So overall, very confused approach from him, it seems. And then by the end of it, he really seemed to have absolutely no clue what to do, and just basically tried to throw anything at the wall and see if it stuck. Which obviously isn't a very solid strategy, or tactic for that matter. But I hope you learned a lot of things from this match. I hope you got a few ideas of what to do, what the bloody hell not to do. Otherwise, feel free to subscribe, tell your friends, tell your enemies. If you don't fancy that, you know, feel free to send in your own replays, provide some feedback in the comments. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.